This is RTS, a medieval real-time strategy game, one of my all-time favorites. A game involving gathering resources, building defenses, and conquering your enemies. But I want to make my own version. So here is that journey. And you can play the game now, link in the description, and join the Discord if you want to help support the game. So let's get started. The main mechanics to tackle are the building system, units, and resources. Alright, so the first thing I added was this building panel, because obviously we need to start a building somewhere, right? And then when we click on one, it will bring out the building that will follow our mouse around. We also have requirements to place it down, and when we bring it close to the castle, you can see it turns green and we're able to place it down. We also are unable to place it like inside of objects, like inside of these trees. When we place it down, it creates this base with a build bar indicating how long until it's built. And as the builders build it, the bar will slowly be filled and the tower will rise up out of the ground. Now let's make some units. The owner of MRTS created this dev form where he showed a template on how to create his unit system. Using this template, you could select units. Units would follow where your mouse is clicked, and it would create a beam connecting the unit to your position. Then I added animations when the unit walks around and the unit turns to follow the direction it's moving in. I also added the ability to hold down shift for the unit to follow multiple nodes that you select. You can also hold down shift to select multiple units or drag select them, and then all the previous functionalities still work, right? You can move around all the units and create various paths. Yeah, our units can walk, but we can't just push around the enemy. Yeah, it's fun for a little bit, but we want to destroy our enemies, and pushing them around doesn't really cut it. This is why I added attributes to the units to track their health, their damage, their range, and various other factors. And then now that I've coded it in, we can watch them attack the enemy. Now the last mechanic to tackle is resources. As you can see, we have 6 different resources to manage. We have our coins, wheat, wood, stone, unit capacity, and buildings. The farm is one of our 3 buildings that produces resources. This one generates wheat, and as you see, we can place it anywhere. The next building is the mine, which has to be placed on stone and also produces stone, and on each tile has its own limit of how many mines can be placed on it, this tile having a limit of 2. The final resource producing building is a sawmill, which must be placed in forest areas and produces wood. This tile again has a limit of 2 sawmills. And then if we try to place a third one, we get this error that says max limit in area reached. To increase unit capacity, you can place down houses. And then to increase building capacity, you can place down builders' workshops. Now throughout all of this, you might be wondering how we actually got these units, and you can get them from the barracks, or the castle is the way to produce builders. Now something I might change is units and buildings take up different levels of capacity, like knights take up 3 spots, which could be confusing and could be simplified to every unit and building only taking up 1 capacity. Now that we've finished all the core mechanics, it's time to start the gameplay loop. I used this tutorial by How to Roblox as a template for a voting system and then polished it up, adding hover effects and click effects for the different maps. Now before we load in, I have the map pulled out here in the editor, and to spawn in the castles, I have all these parts that represent the different spawn points, and then the script loads them in on each one. Loading into the game, everyone gets assigned their team and teleported to their castle, and here you can start. Now the objective of the game is to destroy all the enemy castles, so let me send in my army and destroy this last castle real quick. And when you destroy all the castles, you get this pop-up saying you win, and then it details various stats about the match, like the map, the time, the game mode, and then the rewards you get. And that's pretty much the entire gameplay loop. it will restart the match and you can just continue battling. Now I pretty much just want to explain everything else I did for the game. So here's all of the buildings. Now I've already explained how the farm works, but as you can see underneath each building, there's options to sell the building or upgrade. And when you press the upgrade button, you have two options to choose from, and each of these helps in their own way. And when you upgrade it, the model changes and it makes some sparkles. Now the tower is the primary defense used to defend your castle. Again, it has two upgrades, but it also has the special ability that if you have another tower, you can build walls between them or gates. You can open and close gates to control if troops can come in or not. And right now this button is a placeholder. You can also open and close gates by just right-clicking on them, which is much more convenient. The next building is the barracks, pretty much the same deal as the other ones, except there's this train button that you can click to open up the training UI, and you can also right-click the barracks to do the same thing. And then we have the builder's workshop and the house, which we've already discussed, and these both also have two upgrades. Now the monument's a little more interesting. It buffs units around it, boosting their attack damage. And you can see this little icon underneath the builder that shows that it's buffed. And then of course this also has two upgrades. Next up is the infirmary, which heals damaged units and is also able to spawn healers. And then the most expensive building in the game is the siege workshop, where you're able to train siege machines, which are late game units. Here's the trebuchet, for example, that only attacks buildings. And then of course here are the other two resource buildings, the mine and the sawmill, which can both be upgraded to produce more resources. And then the last building is the port, which can be placed on water. And here you can spawn water units. And honestly, these are my favorite models in the game. Like, look at how cool this ship looks. There's no fishing spots in the testing map, so I'm in this game to show how the fishing boats work. So when you select one, the fishing spots light up, and if you head over there, you're able to press the button that says fish, or you can click R, and a little icon appears above the fishing boat, increasing your gold production. And this is the transport ship, which is also pretty cool. If we go near our units, we're able to mount them onto the ship, and we see this little counter that says 5 out of 8. And then if we move them somewhere else, we're able to drop them off, and you can see them spawn back in. Pretty cool. Now going through the other buttons, we have a custom leaderboard I created, right? And I have the VIP Game Pass, so it shows a little VIP symbol next to my name. This other button is the tutorial, but it's not very good, and I haven't added images, so I'll probably redo it all later. Lastly is the shop where you're able to buy skins and game passes. The only game pass available right now is the VIP Game Pass, which gives you some perks. And when you type in chat, it also shows your VIP name tag. More skins will be coming in the future, but right now you can get skins for units like the Spearman and purchase like a golden variant of it for 1,000 gems. And there's also skins for buildings like the tower, which also has a golden skin that you can purchase for 1,000 gems. So I can place down the golden tower, and they also come with different upgrades, and that's pretty much it. The final thing I created was this cool looking lobby. Here you can queue into games or join existing games. And with that, thanks for watching, and like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. And if you'd like to support the game, please check it out. It took a ton of time, and while you're at it, if you have any feedback, please join the Discord server so I can continue to improve the game. Until next time, have a good one.